Built for More podcast. Denny Thompson, Pastor Joby Martin. I think if you're a college football fan, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know this guy.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I know you have. University of Miami quarterback, Carson Beck. Man, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I almost feel like I could just sit here and watch you two on this one.
We go way back. Beck's mom was my kid's kindergarten teacher, both of them. And my son is now a freshman in college. My daughter's a freshman in high school. And Mrs. Beck was their kindergarten teacher.
That's wild.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you would have been like, whatever, third grade or something when my kids were there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
I was looking today at just timelines, just trying to refamiliarize. Bro, you've been in college a minute.
Okay, one more year?
Just for a couple years,
I didn't realize
time. I know it's been a while.
2018 was the Mr. Football year in Florida, right?
Yep, 2018.
Carson won Mr. Football as a junior, which is the player of the year for every classification in Florida.
Was that at Mandarin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 2018.
That feels like so long ago.
It was.
Had Mandarin ever won anything before you got there?
I think they went to the regional final at a couple years before that.
Did you have anybody else with you that we would know today on that team?
Oh yeah, I mean we were pretty talented. Not a lot of guys that went to your high Division I schools, but Demario Douglas, who we call Pop, he plays for the Patriots now.
Oh wow.
Terrell, one of our running backs, he's with the Patriots as well. And then Chris Mitchell, who went to FIU, then Notre Dame. I know he's preparing for the draft right now as well. And then there's a bunch of other dudes that were very, very talented on that team. Those are just a couple.
It was interesting because Mandarin was 2-8 the year before, and Carson was at a private school, Providence here.
That's our school. That's where I coached there.
Really?
My son played there. Yeah.
And then the next year, they go from 2-8 to winning a state championship.
I bet Providence felt weird. I know Jeff Kopp, your old coach there, is one of my best friends on the planet. He's one of our pastors here. And,
that's awesome.
But you had a quarterback like 2 years older than you there or something like that?
Yeah. Carter Bradley.
Yep, Carter.
Who's also in the NFL now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a ton. It was, in fact, Carter's dad is Gus Bradley, who was the former coach here. Loves the podcast.
Oh, good.
Text me. Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Carter loves it. So
he's awesome.
Come on.
This is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, man, how's life in Miami?
Man, it's good. It's good. It's
started out a little chaotic, didn't it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Very chaotic. I feel like the past 7 months of my life has been pretty chaotic. But no, man, ever since I got down there, it's very different, obviously, from a small town in Athens going to the big city of Miami. I really didn't ever have to experience winter time, which was nice. It was 80 degrees every single day when I was down there in January. So
that's cool.
No, but obviously the transition has been very different, but I do love it now that I'm starting to settle in, start to be around the guys. Obviously, we just got done with spring football this last week, and I got to really spend an extended amount of time with the coaches and, my teammates. So starting to build that chemistry and those connections, and, it's been a lot of fun.
Will it be a similar offense that you have been running?
Obviously there are similarities. Now it's a little different, obviously, in the ways of how a coach likes to call it. I've never actually played in a game yet for Coach Dawson, who is our offensive coordinator. So I haven't really seen how he likes to call plays or how he would call plays for me in situations. I've just been able to go watch film from the season last year and how he kind of called it for Cam. And, there's a lot of freedom within the offense, which is something that I like a lot. But I feel like every offensive coordinator is different in their own retrospect, but everybody runs the same place. And that's kind of what I've realized. I mean, I was in the Georgia offense for 5 years straight. So it's like that's the only offense I knew. That's all I knew, how we did things, right? So now being opened up to this new offense and kind of how they want to do certain things. Everybody does the same things, the same plays, tries to get their best player the ball. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's football. Get a first down and get a touchdown. It's a pretty simple game.
That's it. Jot that down.
He is, we could do a 6-hour podcast. We're not, but we could with just the last, when was the SEC championship? December 3rd, 7th, something like
December
that?
December 7th. Yeah, we could go all day, I think.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, just from that day forward,
right?
You're talking this time last year, actually this time, a year and a half ago, it's a possibility he was going to go out to the draft then.
Yep.
And
yeah, because you were projected super high, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were all pumped when you came back.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk do you want to tell kind of that? You want to talk about that decision first because we got two decisions. We got the one from last year where you decided to go back to Georgia after the SEC championship, and then obviously we can get into this year. But the concept of this podcast is like kind of what's happened and how you've overcome it and how you got here, and what you've learned through it. So if you want to go back just a year and a half to that first decision of do I come out or do I go back to Georgia after being there for 4 years?
Yeah, of course. I think, what was that? So that would have been when we lost to Alabama in the SEC championship. Man, that game still hurts. I mean, I still have vivid memories of sitting on the sideline. I was one of the last ones out there after the game, and the confetti had already fallen. They'd already done all their celebration, and I walked back out there to go say bye to my mom and sister before we got on the bus. And I remember looking at the scoreboard and 27-24, and I was just like, wow. Like I couldn't even believe it. It was like this disgusting taste in my mouth. It was the first loss that I had as a starter in college football and for obviously our team. I mean, we had this long ongoing, record of winning. We hadn't lost in who knows how long. I don't remember the exact number, but I just wasn't used to losing. So that was tough. I mean, that was really tough. So after that game, I think that changed a lot of things. I think we win that game, and obviously, however the playoffs would have played out, I mean,
we would have won it all. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Obviously,
I say we from the couch and you from the field. But I'm in, man. I'm in.
But I think that would have changed a lot of things as far as like my decision moving forward. But I think losing that game, I felt like I had something to prove, and I felt like I still wanted to win a national championship. And I, yes, do I have 2 rings? Yes, but like me being the competitor that I am, like I was never the one out on the field, winning the national championship. I was never the one that was leading the team to go do it. And like me being who I am, like I always wanted that. So that's ultimately what led to the decision of, coming back for another year.
I think the real loser in all that was Florida State in the bowl game that year.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about a culture difference, though. I mean, you think about this, and I got a kid at Florida State where I'm trying to like him. It's been hard to.
I got great relationships at Florida State now, so be careful.
But, dude, all of the Bulldogs show up and play in this bowl game, and none of the Seminoles do. And you can say whatever you want to about how much it matters or doesn't matter. But for Florida State, nobody ever showed back up.
Yep.
And Georgia hit that next year just rolling again. And you can't tell me you can't trace that thing all the way back to who you playing for? Mm-hmm. Like, was this game about you individually, or were you part of something bigger than you and you wanted to do something for your community, your team, your coaches, your state? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, dude, it is like it was a cultural thing.
Yep.
And then Georgia continues to roll, win an SEC championship last year. Had the toughest schedule in the history of college football.
Yeah, crazy. The reason I ask about that first year is because I remember that Alabama game, and I'm going to try to stay out of the way as much as I can because I know so much about Carson here. But I just remember that phone call, and it was, man, we got to come back. Like I can't leave like this. And then you fast forward a year back to Atlanta, and I remember walking into that game, and I'm getting kind of chills thinking about it, but I remember walking into that game going, okay, because the first game was in Atlanta and Clemson. And I remember in that first game going, okay, we're going to be back here twice. We'll be back here for the SEC championship and the national championship. And walking into that game thinking, okay, now it's time to right the wrongs. Can you talk about halftime of that game, laying on the field after you had decided to come back, and just kind of what was going through your head knowing that you had just sustained a pretty serious injury to your throwing arm?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a lot. I don't even think I've really thought about it since it's happened until this moment in time. But I feel like that whole day was just a blur in the first place. Like, I really don't even remember that day leading up to it. But man, the first quarter, I mean, the first time we get the ball, I mean, we go 3 and out. We try to like QB sneak on like 3rd and inches, and a guy jumps over the line and lands on top of me. We don't get it, and I'm like, oh gosh, like a slow start right here, Like we got to get this turned around. We got to get this thing going. But we couldn't seem to get it going, and their defense had our number, just to start. And we really hadn't been a first half team the whole entire year, so I mean, I'm kind of going through, and it's like, okay, like we're good. Like we're going to pick up pace. We ended up having a drive in the second quarter where we drive it all the way down, and then I think we had a drop pass on an in cut, and we end up having to settle for a field goal. And it's like, okay, well, we got points on the board. Like we're just going to keep it pushing, and then we get the ball back at the end of the half, and we start to move the ball a little bit, and then whatever I think we get stopped. I think it was a offsides penalty, and we had a free play. So I tried to force a ball in there because, I mean, I have a free play. No matter what happens, we're good. He picks it off, so it's like, okay, whatever, we're going to get the ball back. We get it back, and then there's like however many seconds left. There might have been like 1 or 2 seconds left. And so then we go, Hail Mary, we're just going to take a shot at the end zone. And I'm like, okay, like whatever, I'm just going to buy time. Kirby literally looks at me, he's like, be smart, like whatever, like we don't need this, like whatever, like obviously these points are irrelevant. We still have a whole half left. And we kind of get some pressure. I step up, come back, roll out to the left. Never felt the guy, ever. Thought I was just going to get it off and then kind of just get pushed. And he was a little closer than what I thought. And the second that I went to throw, I mean, he hit my arm and I felt it pop. And not only that, I got slammed on the ground. So like my whole like left side was like numb. It's like my hip, I had like a bad bone bruise in my hip. Like my back was messed up. And I'm just sitting there laying. All I can hear is like all the fans like going crazy because I still haven't watched the play, but I hear everyone going crazy around me, and I'm just laying there, and I'm like, oh gosh. And like I don't just lay there. Like even if I'm like hurt, like I've been injured in some games, whether it's like an ankle or a knee or something like that. Like I get up and I run off the field, but I just lay there. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let somebody come get me. But I remember everybody ran out on the field, and I'm running in at halftime. And I was in pain. Like I was in a lot of pain, and I'm sitting there trying to grip a football, and I couldn't even grip the football. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, dang, like this thing's over. And it's really hard to go from that year before in the SC championship, that moment where I'm sitting there with my mom and sister looking at the scoreboard, seeing like how much we had put into the whole season, how much I had put in, waiting 3 years, working for that moment to be able to finally start and win my own championship. And then you fast forward, we lose. I work a whole year to get there again. And then I get there again, and I'm in the locker room and can't even grip a football. And it's like all of that work, it's like, it's hard mentally to like sit there and like accept that. And then, I mean, the boys were able to go out there and.
So you were in Gunner's ear on that, on the sidelines going into the second half. What kind of stuff are you telling him?
Well, I think the biggest thing for that situation is like being there for him however I could be, and not like trying to force anything, because I try to put myself in his shoes, right? Like I'm not going to sit here and be this guy like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, no, he's his own quarterback, he's his own guy. Like, and sometimes people look at that wrong, like, oh, why aren't you talking to him? Why aren't you helping? Why? No, I'm here however he needs me to help. Like, if I see something on defense, like we're sitting over there, look, they're doing this, like do what you want with that information. Like I'm not gatekeeping something, but like I'm not going to sit here and try to press him into overthinking. Like this is his first ever real action in the game. Like,
we're not up by 35.
I could only imagine like how he feels, like because I know how it feels. I've been through it, and it's like just being there however I could. And then ultimately, I mean, our running game starts to kick in. ETN gets like a 70-yard run, and I'm like, okay,
he's a freak.
And then our defense is balling, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna win this ball game. Like
everybody. Who one of your biggest fans is? Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, because I've watched that SEC championship about 6 times, and Kirk starts talking about you and like what kind of leader you are, and you know what I mean, just like a team guy. So what was it like then for the final play for you to come back in? Like, did you know you could take a snap and hand the ball off?
Well, I mean,
that was crazy because Gunner got decapitated, bro.
Oh yeah. That was one of the That was one of the top 5 I've ever seen.
I thought his knee was broke.
Have you seen the pictures of like his eyes?
Oh, he was like the fact that he held onto that ball.
I have no idea how.
But he was gone, and then they bring you in.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there on the sideline because at the point I had been convinced that there was nothing wrong. Actually, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. And yeah, I'll say it anyways.
You can say what you want.
But I was convinced to the point that there was nothing wrong with my elbow, that I was going to be fine, that there was nothing wrong, which is insane because I couldn't even grip a football. Yeah. So I'm on the sidelines with my pads still on. Like in my head, I'm like, I really don't know why I'm out here. Like my elbow is like, it's messed up like bad, and I can feel it. Like, but anyways, I'm still out there, and maybe it was for this reason right here that I'm explaining. So I'm out there, and I'm I mean, the next guy up would have been our freshman quarterback, Ryan Puglisi, who's one of my best friends. But, I mean, he had never seen action before either. So it's like Kirby's on the sideline, like, Carson, like yelling, like, can you take a snap? Can you take a snap? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. Like, I can't even like fully extend my arm, and it's like, whatever. So I take a couple snaps on the sideline. Like, we're gonna go under center. We're gonna make it easy so I don't have to like move or try to catch anything. So they give me the play. I run out there. No, I don't think anybody knew that it was me in the huddle. And everyone kind of like looks at me, and I'm just out there and I called the play, and then I start to walk up to the line, and I like can't get my mouthpiece in my mouth because like I'm trying to do it with my left hand, and I finally get it, and then I realize I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to hand this off with my right hand. It's like that. I just get it to him. It doesn't matter how it feels, how much pain you got to endure. Just get it to him. Hopefully he gets it in. Whatever, we snap it, hand it to him. Ball game. So it was cool to end it on that play and not the other.
Standing on the field, winning an SEC championship. Because we've lost our mind as Georgia fans at this point. I mean, if you would have, like, I mean, I've been in it since 2000 is when we were in Athens and all that. So in 2004, if you were like, all right, tell you what, this year you'll lose 2 games and be an SEC champion, we would be elated. Mm-hmm. And now it's like if you don't win a natty 4 out of 4 years, we feel like something's wrong.
Yeah, what was your record? Like 24-3?
Oh,
as a starter?
I think so, yeah.
And then your class did not lose a home game? Is that?
Never lost at home.
That's insane.
Like, and you never lost to Florida, did you?
The COVID year. 2020. Yeah, we lost. Whenever they had Trask, Pitts, Kadarius Toney. I mean, they were
that's right. You've
the wheel route.
Yeah, he's been there a minute.
But the last 4 years you haven't, I guess, right? So the 2 you started and the 2 Stetson, yeah.
I want to go back to the going in the huddle and take it out of the context of Georgia specifically or that play specifically. But how cool is that as a quarterback walking into a huddle when the game's on the line and everybody's just fixed on you and waiting on you to say and give instructions and make a play? Like, I've never thought about that before, but that's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
Oh, it's an unreal feeling. I feel like that's why quarterback is the hardest position in football, because not only do you have to go out there and do the physical part, right? But like you have to embody that leadership aspect of the position, and also then the mental and all that. But like especially the leadership part where like you go into a huddle with 100,000 fans around you and you have to like demand and command the respect of every single dude around you. And if they don't trust you, it's going nowhere. I'll just tell a quick story about kind of that. But my favorite memory of walking into a huddle,
let's go.
We're on the -4 yard line. So from 4 yards out from the end zone for people who don't know what that means. But we're on the -4. We're at Auburn. It's my first away start ever. There's however many thousands of fans they have in that stadium. The band is right. The student section is like right to the right. The band is right behind me. I can't hear anything. I can't even hear myself talk. I don't know how the guys around me heard me talk. But we're on the -4. We're down. We need this drive. And ultimately, after this moment, like we go 96 yards and go score a touchdown to, I think, put us even. And then the next drive, we go win. But I remember walking into the huddle and it's so loud, and I just look at them and all the guys, dude, it gives me chills talking about it. But all 10 of these guys are like, we're all like this, like right here, like everybody's just right next to each other. And I just looked around at like every dude in the eyes, and like nothing needed to be said. Like everybody was on the same page, and there was no words that needed to be said or needed to be explained in that moment. And I was like, okay. And I just nodded and I said the play. And like, I knew from that moment that we were about to go down and score. There's nothing that needed to be said.
We had Peyton Thorne on a couple weeks ago.
He talked about that.
And he talked about that game and about the crowd and about that atmosphere and the environment and just how insane it was.
Unreal.
And he's from the north, so he didn't know this kind of Southern football existed.
Unreal. I mean, just an unreal game too for it to be that close. I mean, they came out and played.
I know.
Yeah.
They played their butt off.
That huddle concept though is cool, because what he's talking about is 11 people with one goal and a limited amount of time to do it. They don't have all the time in the world to do it. So one person can't procrastinate and hold up the other 10. Man, I wish we had more things like that. I wish we had more goals in life that was like, you got 4 minutes and there's 11 of you. Right. And so that means that you can't procrastinate and you can't put this off if all of 11 you want to win. And I don't know, is there another, maybe y'all have that here at 11:22. Maybe there's meetings that y'all have when you walk in and you just go, man, we're rocking right now. But what a special feeling. And how do you recreate that? Is that what athletes talk about, that locker room? I mean, that's obviously not a locker room, it's a huddle. But is that what they're talking about?
That's got to be it. I mean, there's no way to replicate that. The adrenaline that overtakes your body in that moment when there's, again, like, I don't know how many fans Auburn holds, but I think they had more there than what the stadium holds. And then you drive down, and then the ultimate feeling is you get in the end zone and it goes silent. And it's like, yeah, like we just did that. Like we just silenced this many thousand of people, 80, 90,000 people with one moment. And that's powerful.
All the reps, all the workouts, all the things that you did before, like, make sense in that moment, right?
Oh, absolutely. And like that's what you imagine when you're out in 110-degree heat running sprints, and Coach Sinclair's yelling at you, Coach Smart's yelling at you through the microphone that he has at practice. And it's like, but like, we're going to be in these moments and we're going to be prepared. And, I think that's what Coach Smart did so well, is like preparing us for those moments. We were ready and we never flinched.
He does seem to get so much out of so many young men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, as a fan, what other coach would you want for your team? I mean, he took Georgia, I loved Coach Rick. I loved who he was as a man, who he developed, etc. But, I mean, the run that Kirby Smart has had, not just in recruiting, but performance, I mean, it translates to the field. I mean, look at how many dogs are in the NFL at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically, the Georgia Bulldogs won the Super Bowl this year, right? I mean, there's a couple of Bama guys there too, but it's mostly dogs, man. I mean, this is who he's getting. You got to compete. What's practice like there? I mean, everybody's there as a Division I All-American from high school, right?
I mean, especially those first years, man. Like, shoot, I was just getting introduced to college football, and you're looking across the ball and playing scout team, and it's Jordan Davis, it's N'Kobe Dean, it's Quay Walker. I can name Trayvon Walker, all these guys, and it's unreal. Like, just talent on talent on talent. But I mean, practice is harder than the game. And Coach Smart creates those situations where it's high intensity, high stress. And I think a lot of it too is because everybody there cares so much, right? Like if the players didn't care and buy in the way that we did at Georgia, he wouldn't be able to create these high intensity, high stress moments. But like, I mean, I remember I'll go back to that Auburn week. Like, I'm pretty sure we blew out the speakers in the indoor from how much crowd noise we were playing. So like, you can't hear anything in practice in the indoor when we're practicing a 2-minute drill. So like, we already practiced it even harder because it was even louder and we blew out the speakers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and everybody's taking it like it's the game. So then you get to the game and it's like, oh, we already did this. Like, let's just go do it again.
So when did you realize you have what it takes to be literally one of the best Division I college quarterbacks, and for sure a draft pick in the NFL? When did it occur to you?
Man, I think, oh man, I don't know. I feel like, I guess in high school, I really started to believe in myself because I was always a baseball player. I was going to play baseball my whole life, and I mean, I had committed to Florida my freshman year of high school, and that was it. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to play baseball, and then
were you a pitcher?
Mm-hmm. Pitcher, first, third. I mean, I played everything growing up, and I don't know, once I got on the field in high school and played like the last half of my sophomore year, and then going into my junior year, we go win state, and these offers start coming in, and coaches start recruiting me. I was like, wow, like this could be it. And like, there's just a feeling that you get playing football that's you can't replicate it. You know,
it's the greatest sport ever.
You can't replicate it.
This guy was committed to Florida in baseball, decommitted from there, committed to Alabama for football, and then committed to Georgia.
Well, I'm glad you broke those two hearts.
Well, I mean, but think about this. I think Florida at the time was coming off a national championship in baseball.
They had won the Natty the year before I had committed.
Alabama had just won a Natty, right? I mean, I joke all the time with him. Like, we couldn't get Duke basketball to offer you too. Like, I mean, we could have gone for the trifecta.
What made you choose Georgia? Why'd you choose to go to Georgia?
I fell in love with Coach Smart. I fell in love with the culture that he was building. I mean, they had just come off of that run where they went to the national championship, and then obviously the throw from Tua. I know that's hard to not to bring that up, but
it's so hard.
They had just come off of that run, and I don't know. There was just a feeling walking into the building of that culture and that brotherhood and the connection that those guys had built, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of.
And now you're going to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not in the script or plan of kind of what we all have talked about, starting this thing, but I feel like God has a plan in everything he does, and everything ultimately comes into fruition for A, B, or C reason, right? And you end up figuring that out in time. And, I think even after the injury, it wasn't even in my thought to go back to college, and I think really me and him, obviously we have a great relationship, and kind of just through that month, right? I didn't even know what was going on, to be honest. That month was really challenging for me, really hard. Just kind of trying to accept what had happened and just working through my mental, and then trying to make decisions on what my future was going to look like. We ultimately came to the conclusion that coming back to college was, going to be the best idea for me. And, going to a new place with new people and new coaches, and, kind of revitalizing everything, and obviously leaving that behind and moving on to something new, created new energy and good energy for me and my mental space. And ultimately, I do think it was the best decision for me.
Well, I'm not like the spokesperson of the Dog Nation, but I would say when I saw you do that, I thought, well, that makes a ton of sense. Ain't nobody mad at him. It seems like a great decision for you and your future. And obviously, Georgia hates to lose you, but man, it seems like the smartest thing. We've talked about NIL a lot, especially the last few weeks, as we've been talking to some guys that have played the NIL era. One of the things it has brought us is we get quarterbacks like Carson Beck for an extra 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like the college, which around here, dude, college is twice as big as the NFL, And so the best stick around and play.
Yeah, and like Peyton, Carson went to school when NIL wasn't a thing. Yep. And now it's ended up much differently than when you originally went there. The whole sport changed.
Way changed. I mean, when I started, I was getting my little, 220 a week.
Yeah.
And I thought I was on top of the world. And I was like, oh yeah, go buy a pair of shoes, fill up with gas, and then I got to wait till next week.
No, I mean, I that what he's saying about that month after his injury and when he went to Miami, I think we will, or I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
It was hard,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, we spent 8 days in Manhattan Beach.
Yep.
For his surgery, came home Christmas Eve, and even through all that, I got the sense that I could see God working, like right away.
Well, the fact that you got a guy like Denny in your life is the hand of God. You know how many athletes don't have a godly man?
Oh my gosh!
To get some input from,
Mm-hmm. I hate when you do this.
I don't care.
I hate when you do this.
We're at my church. I do
But my point is,
I'm being serious, man.
Oh, of course. And even to just speak on that a little bit, we went out to LA to go get the surgery, and then my surgery got delayed. And a lot of people don't know this. You got to get back into the extension and the range of motion before you can actually get the surgery. Otherwise, you run the risk of never being able to actually get the range of motion back after. I don't know the scientific terms because I'm not a scientist or anything of that sort, but I do know you got to get the range back. So, during that time period, right after surgery, what was it? I want to say 3 days after, I got, or not after surgery, after the injury, 3 days after, I'm in Jacksonville doing rehab.
Oh, absolutely.
Trying to rehab my arm back so I can get the surgery as fast as possible and get back onto the field as fast as possible again. But we go out to LA, and the day before the surgery, he tells us we can't get the surgery.
Yeah.
So then it's oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Do we wait? Do we try to? So then 4 days out in LA, aggressive rehab. You want to talk about pain? It is pain, and I'm just sitting through it. I got to get this surgery, so let's just get it done. And then ultimately, like, we were able to just get the range of motion back to where 4 days after the original date that I was supposed to get it, I go in there, we get the surgery, we get it done. And then, I mean, not even a week later, I'm flying to New Orleans in a brace. And it's like, wow. Like, you want to talk about a total change in events.
All right. Amazing story here. We're leaving the morning after the surgery because it's Christmas Eve, right? So we're both like, all right, we got to get home.
Probably should have stayed an extra day.
We probably should have. And we were in an Airbnb, and there were some stairs on the outside. So my man is less than 18 hours out of surgery, 24 hours out of surgery.
Even.
Yeah. 4:00 in the morning. All right, so we're walking down these stairs, or he's walking down these stairs, and it's a little wet.
Oh, no.
And his feet slide. And I watch him on Christmas Eve, 24 hours after this surgery, fall down these stairs and just kind of bounce down these stairs. And I'm standing at the top of it. And all I can think is, all right, I'm going to call Angie and tell her I'll be home by New Year's because we got to redo this thing. He ended up being fine.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up being fine, but it was like
that was scary.
Oh, my gosh. It was like the perfect way to end the trip because it was – and I'll say this for Carson. This past year has been – an exercise in Carson learning what he's capable of off the field. Like everything. I mean, the lessons that this guy has learned in the last year and the things that he has overcome, you don't learn who you are and what you're made of until you go through some crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what this podcast is about, but my guy's been through some crap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's battle tested. And that was like the perfect way to end that trip. And I remember Carson just kind of sitting there and neither one of us said anything. And he kind of looked back at me and he's like, I think I'm all right. I was like, good. I said, what were you thinking? He was like, I was thinking we're going to go get a Christmas tree and spend Christmas here.
Oh, man.
So it's been, as hard as I think the last year has been for Carson, there's been a lot of good things.
Well, of course. I mean, the thing is called Built for More, and most of the lessons that the Lord teaches us isn't in the good times, man.
That's right.
It's in the tough times, right? When you got to figure it out and cowboy up and trust Him and trust people around you and trust that, just like you said, He's got a plan even if you can't see it. So how's the arm now? Everything good?
It's doing good.
Just slinging it?
I mean, back to, tossing the ball around. Feels good. Very exciting for me, not being able to do the thing that I love and, like, really what I've done for so long, like it's hard not to do that, right? I mean, I think we were talking about this a little bit. Like, I think the most I've ever gone in my life without throwing anything, a baseball, a football, since I was like 4 or 5 years old. It's maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, like when I had like a little like elbow thing here and a shoulder thing here with baseball, and it's like I just went 4 months.
Wow,
like it's insane to think about.
It is. Now but with that being said, talk about spring practice at Miami and not being able to throw and kind of what you learned about, leadership and how you, because I mean that's a weird situation, right? You're in a room with a bunch of guys you've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
You're the quarterback of the team and you can't throw. You can't practice. So how did that go? How did spring go? What did you learn kind of about leadership without being able to throw?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think first and foremost going into a new school with new people and not even being able to like do what I'm there to do, right? Is like hard within itself, like very difficult. And it's got to be difficult even for the guys around me, right? So for me, obviously I can't focus on the physical aspect of football because I can't actually play right now, right? So like, I guess my approach and perspective to it all was like, how can I be the best that I can be and like evolve in all the other areas in the game, right? So like being a leader, like finding connection with the guys, like building chemistry, obviously like in the weight room and conditioning and like doing that aspect of things, at least obviously to as much as like I was limited to, right? So that was really the thing. Like, I mean, I'm standing out there at spring practice. It's 2.5 hour practices, 3 hour practice, however long our practice. Gosh, sometimes it feels like forever. But I'm out and it feels like forever because I'm not even practicing. Like I'm out there just like, I'm watching. So it's like the mental reps over and over and over. And I mean, you stand out there for 2.5 hours. I mean, anybody is going to admit that like it gets long and it gets tired and you start to lose your focus. So it's like building that mental stamina over and over and over again and like doing the best I can to be engaged. Like, okay, I'm going to pick this wide receiver today to watch, or I'm going to pick these 2 guys to watch. I'm going to pick this quarterback to watch, right? I'm going to help him in whatever way I can. I'm going to help him in whatever way I can. I'm going to pick this guy on defense to watch, right? Like, dude, when you do this and you try to disguise this, I can tell that you're actually going to do this. So like, just be careful of it. And then next play, he does something different, catches a pick. And it's like, okay, like I'm helping. Like I can see it happening and cool. Just doing the best I can. And I think one thing that I have learned, and not to hype myself up a little bit, but I think that I would be a really good coach. I think that's something that I've really learned and over the past, 3-4 months, is like, I think I'd be a pretty good coach and just like trying to help the guys, not only in the quarterback room, and I don't try to ever overstep. And sometimes maybe I can talk too much because I just love football. So like I could sit there and yap about football all day long to them, like about coverages and plays and reads and blitzes and just everything football related. And they probably get annoyed at me sometimes and they would never admit it. But I mean, just however I can help those guys. And I don't know.
You have to know that though, right? To be the quarterback, don't you have to know everything? One of the things that seemed to me at Georgia is you always, it seems like you made a ton of checks at the line and we were always in the right blocking scheme. You know what I mean? It just seemed like you didn't get hit that much. You always had a check down. I mean, the biggest thing I was concerned about when you went down, I know Gunner can run and throw. Everybody in the SEC can run and throw, you know? Yep. But in live game situation, do you know where the hot corner's coming from? Can you put yourself in the right check down? You know, right? Mm-hmm. And it seems like you had a ton of control out there.
I would say that that's like what I'm really good at is the mental aspect of the game and going into games super prepared and understanding what a defense is going to try to do to you, and then ultimately recognizing it not only before the snap but then after the snap, because a lot of what the game is nowadays is not what you see before the snap. It's being able to process and recognize after the snap, and ultimately I think that's why the game is harder today. I mean, not only athletes are just becoming insane, right? I mean, the guys that play the sport are just unreal. You look at some of these guys in the league nowadays and you got DNs running 4.4s and it's like, wow. It's like, wow. Right? So like for me, I don't run a 4.4. So it's like, right? Like,
although you run better than people would give you credit.
I would say so. I appreciate it. But
you did, man.
Again,
that's what they would say every time you would have a big run. And then, you know, it's not like, I'm sure the hometown radio was like, there he goes again. We know he's got it. But the national guys were like, they seemed surprised. And I was like, it's because you ain't watching every game.
I'm not running away from this guy that's running a 4.4, right? So like, again, like I have to be good at that part of it, right? Of picking up protections and understanding where I'm hot off of if we don't pick up a protection, right? Or most of the times I would try to get it right, you know? And like I really did like pride myself on that. And it ultimately helps me because if we're picked up, then I have more time, then I can read and dissect the field.
So if I was a Miami fan, I would be turning cartwheels right now. Because you got, okay, so you couldn't throw a spring ball. You got 2 years of film of this guy slicing and dicing Alabama and Clemson, actually every ACC team we ever played. I mean, you threw for 10,000 yards and 100 touchdowns. I mean, I'm just going to be – and look, I'm totally a homer. I think the SEC is the best. It just means more, all the things. And so I'm looking forward to you playing in the SEC and just seeing what it looks like.
ACC?
I mean, playing in the ACC, out of the SEC. I mean, you know, just from – and I know there's great players in every league for sure.
Yep.
But it seems to just be a different deal, you know.
You played in some monster games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely.
I mean, talk about battle-tested now. I mean, last year was it at Texas, at Ole Miss, at Alabama. Of course, the Georgia Tech game that was
insane.
I mean.
Yeah, but offensively, we were just rolling.
Well, and what I'm kind of getting to
that thing was crazy.
The insane game.
The week
7 overtimes.
I told and it was freezing.
Oh my gosh, it was cold.
Dude, Gretchen, my wife went to bed, you know, on like the whatever. At some point, she's like, we lost. I was like, they'll never see my back. You know, I never leave, whatever. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, I get in bed. I was like, we won. She's like, what? And I just said, never a doubt. That's what I was like, never a doubt.
Never a doubt. I mean, that was
crazy.
I'll speak about that game because I think it's important that I speak about that game for half a second because not only does that show just like the grit and like the connection of that team that we had right there because like it came to life. I mean, there's 5 minutes, 43 seconds left. And I remember it because I looked up at the clock and our defense got to stop and they're about to punt. Or actually, I think our defense just let up a touchdown. Our defense let up a touchdown. Haynes King ran it in, and I could see some of the guys' faces on the sidelines, right? Like, it's like, oh, man, like, are we going to lose? Like, you start to feel it around. And I remember I looked up at the clock, and it gives me chills talking about this stuff, man, dang. And 5:43 on the clock, and I see fans walking out the stadium. And I was like, bet. Like, watch this. Because the whole year that we had already gone through, everything that we had already dealt with, all the games, all the this, that, and the other, this person says this, that person says that. Who even cares about that, right? But, like, you watch your own fans walk out of the stadium, and I was like, okay, bet. I looked at the guys, and, man, dude, this fires me up. I looked at the guys, and we're about to go out on the field. They're about to kick it off, and I looked at them, and I said, I swear. Now, I'm going to keep the PG version, but I said, like, don't give up on me. Like I swear, if you give up on me, like this is gonna happen. Like we're gonna fight in the locker room. Like do not give up on me. We're gonna win this game. Like follow me. Like I'm gonna lead. Follow me. We're gonna win this game. And I'll be damned if we go out there, get the ball, drive right down the field, score, right, and then boom, they get it back. Dan Jackson cracks him, fumble. I mean,
maybe the greatest play in Georgia history. I mean,
I'm on the sideline. I'm
dude,
hyped.
that guy is a beast.
I'm hyped. And the second that happened, I knew we won. Really? I knew we won because the energy flipped.
You were talking about dislodging a ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, the energy flipped. I was like, man, dude, our defense stepped up, and then we get it back, go score again. And then Kirby's like, maybe I should say Coach Smart. Is that disrespectful?
No, I like Kirby better.
I don't know. I like to say Kirby. I think it's a cool name. But so anyways, Kirby's like, do we go for 2, whatever? Like, what do we do? I'm like, Coach, I think we have all the momentum. Like, let's just ride this thing. Like, we're gonna win this ball game. Let's kick this extra point. Let's go into overtime. So we kicked the extra point, and ultimately, I mean, obviously we didn't play on 8 overtimes, but shoot, I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. We got it done. I remember Nate ran it in, and I'm over there. I'm like, oh my gosh,
he's a freak, is he not?
Oh my gosh, he's so good. I mean, so talented. Had an unreal year, like in a year where there was injuries and setbacks in that position room.
Yeah,
and he was able to step up for us big time.
But and that's the point I was getting to. Is like every week was like that. Every week was, the Alabama comeback, or that Kentucky game that was so weird, and going to Texas, and
but the thing, when we went to Texas, I was like, here we go, Natty. Yeah, again. I mean, we just, because they were supposed to be everything, and we just rolled.
Our defense played unreal.
And I was at every one of those games, and I've talked about this before. I was doing nothing, and I was worn out.
Like, call me, but I'm so tired,
bro. I cannot imagine, because when you're Georgia and you're going into these places, there's a little different energy. Like, the fans come to play too.
Oh, absolutely.
That Alabama game, the fans were there to play. Yeah, they weren't messing around. Yeah. So I mean, just talk about like the grind of that. That I don't think, because people think, oh, you got 7 days in between.
Man, 7 days.
But trying to get up every week for a road game in the SEC, and then after that, I promise we'll get to Miami. But just talk about what you learned through that last year.
Yeah, I mean, the preparation week in and week out is insane, right? Like, you have to love it. You have to, because otherwise you're going to get burnt out. Mm-hmm. You are, and it's like you got Alabama on the road, and you're hype. It's early in the season, you're undefeated. You've had a couple good games leading up to it, and you go in there, you have this insane game, right? Like, go down 28-0, bring it back, ultimately end up losing, and it's like, like, you're worn out after that, and it's like, man. But then, like, you have to wake up the next day, put it to bed, and then start watching film on the next team. It's like, nobody cares. Go work harder than you did the last week.
Did you have a favorite team to play? Like, somebody, even though they were good, you were like, I know I can slice and dice these guys.
Oh, man.
We always play Tennessee well.
Tennessee, yeah, probably, to be honest. I don't know what it is about Tennessee.
They would have so much hype every year,
because they're really good.
Like, no, but
they're really good. But there's just something about
they don't volunteer to show up when they play us, man. They just I'm serious.
Hey, the game your junior year in Knoxville.
That was one of my best games.
I agree. 100%. I think that rivals the Auburn noise, though, because when they hit that first play.
Well, here's what I said. That was the loudest moment I've ever heard. That was the loudest moment I've ever heard in any stadium, was that moment, but they didn't keep it going. Right. Now, if the game was closer, it might have happened, right? Like, but the nothing beats Auburn.
Yeah.
Nothing beats Auburn.
That's awesome.
Maybe Alabama a little bit closer, but like I think just the way their stadium is built, it doesn't capture the noise as much.
Yeah, I'm telling you that day, like there was a whole thing. Trump was there, like the whole thing was going on that day.
Yeah.
It was like you couldn't walk anywhere, couldn't drive anywhere. Of course, it was game day. And by the time it got to that 8 o'clock kickoff or whatever it was
late.
That place was juiced.
What's it like playing here in Jacksonville? Because, I get a home game every year. It's your hometown.
Yeah.
I go to the Georgia, Florida, and it's Georgia, Florida to all those listening.
It is Georgia. It is Georgia, Florida.
Especially now. I mean, come on, give me a break. What's it like playing here?
Man,
you probably have a lot of family and friends.
Absolutely. It was always super cool, especially when I finally got the opportunity to play in the game, right? Because, coming here for 3 years, not playing, all that stuff. Like, finally having the opportunity 2 years ago in 2023, I remember just warming up and looking around, and I was just stoked. I was like, this is so cool. Like that if someone were to ask me what my favorite game was, it would be that game. Like that one, hands down, 100%. I remember running out on the field and like I was emotional because like
isn't that where you hit Ladd over the middle and he cut it back?
Yeah, that was the first touchdown of the game.
Dude, how good's Ladd McConkey?
Oh my gosh.
Beast. Beast.
He literally
You had him and Brock?
Yeah. If it was third down, it was probably going to that guy.
And then those two guys light it up in the NFL.
Oh, I know. Dudes. Generational dudes.
Oh, absolutely. And just great dudes.
Did y'all just have the connection like crazy too, practice-wise and stuff? You just knew he's supposed to be over there somewhere if I throw it in that direction.
Oh, he's going to be in the right place every single time. And same thing with, Bowers is
freak.
As time tells, because time always does tell. If I had to put money on it, if you could invest money into a person or a player, I would put my whole bank account on that dude. You watch the way he works in the summer workouts, the winter workouts, the runs. He refuses to lose, and he's a competitor. And he was in the locker next to me when we were at our time at Georgia. So I got to get to know him well and spend a lot of time around him and watch him work. And it's like that guy's probably going to be one of the best, if not the best. I know that's a crazy statement, but one of the best tight ends to ever play the game, truly. And I know that's high praise, but
Gronk has said the same thing.
Seriously,
Gronk is I think that guy's better than me.
Yeah,
and he doesn't say nice things about anybody.
Yeah, the rookie year proves that that's not a crazy statement at all. It was interesting a second ago because he was talking about that huddle situation.
Yeah,
and I went back to Brock's episode with us,
and
I think you were talking about the main thing about leadership is there first has to be trust.
Yeah, you got to earn it.
And you just talked about that, about being in the huddle and everybody trusting each other, and more importantly, people trusting you. Now that you're at a new place and you kind of have a blank slate, how do you earn that trust of a whole new team?
Yeah, like I said, being at Georgia for 5 years, there's reps and reps and reps of guys seeing it and guys believing in it, right? And I think I kind of have a head start just based off of what I was able to do at Georgia, right? And guys see that, right? Guys see that at Miami, and going into it kind of with that head start, guys already kind of look to you, right? Now you just got to step in and be that, right? Be who they think you are, right? If that makes sense. And do it in your own way and be respectful about it, but go lead, go take it, right? That's what you have to do. You got to go in with that mindset, but in the right way, because it can come off as cocky. It can come off as, oh, he has a big head. Oh, he's the guy from Georgia. I'm going to go in and I'm going to serve and I'm going to do what I can for you and you and you and you. And it's not about me, and it never is about me. And I've never played the game that way. Right, I could care less about a stat, about a touchdown, about whatever. If you told me this next year that I was going to throw for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns and we win a national championship, then please give me that route. You know what I'm saying? Because I want one, right? That's all I want. I care about winning. That's the only column that matters at the end of the day. It really does. You could go look at any other column ever, but again, who's the best quarterback to ever play the game? Give me the answer.
Tom Brady.
Exactly. Why?
He won
7 Super Bowls. Yep, there it is. It's about winning at the end of the day. Because
and there was no individual thing that he did that was crazy impressive.
He's a damn good quarterback.
But he couldn't do it the farthest. He couldn't run the fastest.
Athletic.
But on the whole game, He won the game. He knew how to win a game.
And that's what matters, is like being so good in those situational moments.
I got a friend, we'll have him on here at some point, named Josh Wells, played tackle for the Jags, then played tackle for the Bucs when they won it all with Brady there. And he was just like, and Wells was there the year before Brady got there, and he talked about how when Brady showed up, everything changed. Mm-hmm. And they did a little players-only meeting in the locker room after their second game, and he just said it right and got more out of those guys than anybody else ever could, and it just changed everything.
Yeah. You imagine a players-only meeting that Tom Brady called?
I'd be on the edge of my seat listening to every word.
Yeah, but that's you, dude. I'm telling you, the jokers in Miami, they have seen you play. I mean, he's got to be one of the top returning quarterback in college football.
Well, I mean,
top one or
biased.
Two. Yeah,
I mean, I'm biased with it, but you know, what we'll talk about Miami and what does that mean to you? What does going down there and a storied program the way it is that is starving, I think, for another national championship or even a playoff appearance? Like, do you already feel like you're integrated in there to the point where that's the only thing you think about?
Oh, absolutely. And you go down there and like you can feel the energy around the guys. Like the guys are bought in, right? Like, I mean, those practices they're out there banging. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes are hitting. Those O-line and D-line are going after it every single day. I mean, it's literally the same practice schedule that we had at Georgia. It's the same stuff. Period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Indy, all these different, whatever drills. And then you get into and you got team run, right? That's where the bread and butter is made. Team run, smash mouth, start there. And then you got your third downs, you got your 7. It's literally the same exact schedule. Yeah. So it's like everybody does the same stuff, right? But I mean, those dudes, they get in there and they work. And we have fun doing it. Like, so much fun. Like, guys are out there just having a fun time. Like, guys are celebrating each other. It's not just like this, like boom, 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 boom. It's like, nah, like we're gonna like put the work in and then we're gonna like celebrate when we do well because we earned that, you know? So I don't know, man. I'm super excited. And my time down there obviously limited, but like I've had a lot of fun getting to know the guys and like being on a new team.
And they've got a lot of the right pieces in place. I mean, they're coming off they're on the upswing for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And their first game is Notre Dame.
Let's go. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sunday night of was that Labor Day?
Where are we going?
Let's go. Let's go.
Where is it?
Y'all come down. Miami.
It's in Miami.
Miami. Oh, I'm doing it big for that one. Yeah.
All right. I might come down Labor Day.
Yeah. Finish up preaching here.
No, I never preach Labor Day because
there we go.
Yeah. I usually go to the Georgia game because we play like Austin P or something like that. You know,
come on, let's do it.
Maybe I'll go to Miami.
No, I mean it's. I've been down there quite a bit, and it is like you can feel it, and it is exciting. And there's an excitement about this guy and some other guys they've brought in, and I mean that's got to be fun, man. It's got to be such a. I don't want to like when I say a fresh start that implies there's something negative on the other side, but that's not the case, right? It's just like it's a fresh start for you as a 23-year-old instead of the place that you went to when you were 18.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not only am I a completely different person than when I was 18 years old, right? Yep. And like a lot of that having to do with the circumstances I've been through, but like I have completely changed, and like all these things that I've been through have ultimately made me who I am today, and like reset my belief patterns and everything. I mean, there's so many different things, right? But like, no, it is a fresh start. And like, yes, that should imply like negativity, but like, no, there's no negativity in the past. It's just like, now I'm in this new place with new people and new coaches, and I almost have to like restart in a sense. Like, obviously I'm coming in with all of this knowledge and experience that I didn't have when I was 18. Right, so it's completely new, and I know what to do and how to approach it because I've been through it.
Yep.
Right.
So what's the thing? What's the thing that now that you're 23 and you've got this fresh start? What's your next step? Do you think as a leader, as a football player, as a man, whatever it is? What does that look like for Carson Beck?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and what I've noticed with guys, and this might be a broad or generalized statement, but this is my opinion, honestly, is where guys struggle and why I feel like you see, and I'm kind of going to take this question into a different realm of and answer it a different way, but because it's just hit my mind, I think it's important. So many guys that get highly recruited out of high school and go to a Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State, or I'm just naming these teams that have won national championships in the years past, right? And then they don't end up panning out. right? And you're like, well, what happened to this guy, right? Like this 5-star guy, this guy was like a top 5 recruit. What happened to him, right? I think what happens, and this is just part of it, but you go to this school, right? And you go win a national championship, and you're a freshman, sophomore sitting on the bench, right? And you go win this national championship. Yeah, you're putting in the work like the other guys, but it's not the same. No matter how much you try to replicate it, no matter how much you try to prepare like you're the starter or prepare like there's nothing that can get you ready for when you're actually the guy out there, right? And there has to be a shift in your mind that's like that goes from, okay, I'm the guy that has to get this done. There's no one coming to save me, right? Like when I was a sophomore, junior, like Stetson was the quarterback, right? And he would go out on the field, and he wasn't personally winning us the games, but he was winning us the games, right? He's the quarterback. He was out there winning the games. So like then I step in my junior year, and it's like I'm going to keep going back to this Auburn example because I already brought it up, but like, and we're down by 7 with this much time left in the fourth quarter. Stetson is not coming to get into the game. I have to do this, right? Yeah. And I think so many guys win a championship or see success from these older guys, right? And they just think because they go to Georgia or go to, and again, like I'm just bringing up these schools because they've won national championships in years past. Because they go to Georgia or because they go to Alabama or because they go to this school or this school, that they're going to win because they're at this school. Does that make sense? And and I think that's why guys don't pan out that are really talented in high school, because they see these older guys win games and then they finally get the opportunity to play. And it's like, oh, it's like the show. I actually have to do this now. You know what I'm saying? And like the whole time they've been depending on other guys. So I would say, kind of reverting back to your question after saying that, like that's the biggest thing for me that I've realized. And like coming into this is like, there is nobody coming to save us. Like we have what we have. And like, this is our team, and you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do this. And they're like, again, like we're all we have. So like, that's kind of, I think the biggest thing that I've grown into and understanding is like, I've got to go out there and do it.
What a great explanation, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I think kind of in a microcosm, what you've explained is what it means to grow up and be a grown man.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Like when you're a boy, you got to have people take care of you. And when you're a man, you take responsibility for what the Lord has entrusted you with.
Of course.
And you've grown into a fine young man.
Well, thank you.
And a great leader. And very articulate, man. Very articulate.
I try my best.
Yeah.
Well, let's we don't shy away from things. So let's hit that right on. Is one of the things that people say about you is body language, verbal leadership, things like that. We spent a couple minutes talking about this a couple weeks ago about that's not really leadership. What is your mode? How would you describe your leadership style?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year I got a lot better at the verbal side, right? And like kind of what I just explained goes into that, right? As you build more confidence and you understand like you're the guy that has to go do it, you do it, right? They're like, I think it's a luxury to an extent to not have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of sit back and follow the crowd and whatever. But like, you just got to go do it, right? And for me, evolving as a person and as a leader and stepping into that role and embodying it and embracing it, you know, you learn new tactics. But like for me, I think the biggest thing, it goes back to what you kind of said earlier, is building trust and respect from other people around you. Serving others, right? And if you can't do that, then you can't be a leader, right? Because yelling and vocalizing and the things that people see to be a leader is not being a leader at all. Like you're just yelling. Like, what are you doing? And now there is now let me not like take that too far, right? Let me clarify that like there is part of like yelling and getting on someone and being vocal that is good as a leader, right? Like people need to see that, but it's time and place, right? For me, I think the biggest thing is understanding the people that you have around you and like really building connections to where you know how to make someone better, right? Leadership is influence. So if you can positively influence the people around you and make them better people, better players, better men, help them to grow, then I would define that as leadership.
Yeah. People have complicated the idea of leadership a lot, you know. Man, it's basically this. Look over your shoulder. Is anybody following you? If not, you're not a leader. Mm-hmm. So, dude, when you're talking about the Georgia Tech game and you get your offense and you say, follow me and we will win, that is leadership. There's different styles, There's some people that kind of do it this way or that way. Some people are more like caring, nurturing, and some people are kind of, like stick and yell, whatever. But fundamentally, can you look at people and say, follow me and I will take you where you need to go? And so like that moment on the sidelines against the Georgia Tech, and then people followed.
Yeah.
Because you also know people that scream and yell and nobody pays attention to them. Mm-hmm. They're just over there making noise. They're not making a difference. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, man, the key is just be the kind of leader God has called you to be. And you do have positional authority and leadership because you're the quarterback of Miami. And then you'll just get to earn it, and you'll get to look at these new guys and say, trust me, I've been here before. We can do it again. Follow me, and then it's going to go good. Mm-hmm. And I hope you beat I hate Notre Dame.
We had Kirk Herbstreit on. He leads it off talking about how much he hates Ohio State.
Oh, God, I can't stand Ohio State. I hate them. And they all got saved this year, and Stroud's awesome. I hate them all. So anyway, it's funny. Because of you, I'll be rooting for Miami. It's kind of like Brock plays for the 49ers. Brock attends church here. And so I would have never thought I'd be a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
And I root for him like crazy because that's my dude, Brock. And so anyway, I hope nothing but success. I hope you, especially against Notre Dame.
Well, that's the best part about this whole thing for me is like I've got 1 million teams now. Right?
Because you're all players.
I just pull for these guys. I don't pull for colors or anything like that. It was, it's fun. It's fun to get to be a Georgia fan for 2 years. It's fun to be a Miami fan now. It's fun to, I was in Starkville, Mississippi yesterday. Like,
oh wow,
yeah. What else do you go to Starkville, Mississippi for?
Not
you know what I mean?
Much.
Like, yeah. So that part of it is a blast. What would you say to? Because but you don't do much of this. Like ever since, since your injury, I think this is the first time you've really even spoken.
Probably,
right?
I try to stay kind of out of the limelight, but
you have not done a good job of staying out of the limelight. People talk about you
at
all the time.
Yes.
But that's the funny thing.
But you've had some stuff happen to you too, though, man. I mean,
of course, yeah, no,
break-ins.
As much as I try to stay out of the
limelight. Your love life is out there. Everything's out there.
It seems to be that everything else in the world wants me to go that way. I try to veer the opposite way. So I'm hoping to, kind of stay out of it a little bit more. But I think it's good to do stuff like this and get to talk so that people don't hear it from other people about who I am and what I am and, how I view myself. So, but I think that's important sometimes.
So what would you tell Miami fans? What are they getting?
Man, I think there's a lot to me that, again, like people misconceive or don't know. I feel like I'm a very misunderstood person at the end of the day just because, there's a lot of stuff out there that, people either have made up or shown or said, and then it's, oh, well, they said this and they said that, and I'm not even going to get into that because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. But I think for me, man, like for what and who I am and what I believe in, I'm a ferocious worker. I'm a hard worker. I will exhaust myself until I have nothing left. And I've done that, my whole life. I have dreams and aspirations to do big things and lead people and serve others. And again, like it's not about me. It's never about me. I want to see other people succeed more than honestly myself. Obviously, I want to succeed, but like when I play for other people and serve others, it makes my job a lot easier, honestly. And I think that's where I maybe mess up most of the time is when I start to get selfish and think about myself is when I don't play as well, when I don't do well. Because again, like at the end of the day, it's not about me. But no, man, I'm going to work my butt off and never give up, honestly. And again, like just try to make the guys around me better players, and not only better players, but better people. And I hope by the way that I act and carry myself, obviously as this year goes on and we finish out this year, I only get one with Miami. So it's kind of like the last ride. And I hope through my actions and, the things that I'm able to do, it portrays that.
Yeah, Carson's a guy that he'll take care of other people before he takes care of himself. Just that's the personality. And I'm excited for people to see that because as good of a job as he does of tuning everything out, I may not do as great of a job. And this is my guy. So, there's things that you just look at and go, man, you just don't have any clue. And we talked about this early on. I talked about Caleb Williams and Carson knows Caleb. And, And what the people think Caleb is and what Caleb actually is two completely different things. And you got to realize that these guys are early 20s.
Well, Miami's getting a winner.
No question.
I mean, just straight up a winner who has done it at the highest level in college and has a really long track record. And, yeah, man, I think you'll – and you play the ACC, so you're going to be able to kill him. Right.
You got anything else you want to get out there into the world with this or?
No, I don't know. We covered a lot of stuff. I mean.
We did.
Good talks, good stuff.
We did. Just know this, man. The Lord's got a plan for you.
Of course.
You know? I think you should seriously, after a long NFL career, you should really lean into that coaching thing. There's this book a guy named John Eldredge wrote about manhood. And he says, when you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, don't ask what this world needs. Ask what makes me come alive. Because what this world needs is for men to come alive. And so if there's that little thing in you, isn't that?
Oh, that's good.
That's like, I mean, when I do what I do, I pastor this church and all the things, I'm not trying to fill a role. I feel like, you ever watch a dog hunt? And you're like, that's what that thing was created to do. It's like you on the field. When you're the quarterback, bro, that's what you were created to do. Because if you don't love it, you'll burn out, just like you said.
Yep.
And then even if you have an incredible career in the NFL and play for 15 years and, you know, win Super Bowls or whatever, it's still going to be a short vocation, right? I mean, you're going to retire at 40 or something like that. And then you got to think, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So if there's that thing in you that likes to develop other people and help other people be better and be a coach, that very well could be what God has in, you know, like 2 seasons from now after your college and NFL career are over. So you should pay close attention to those things that make you come alive and lean into those things. And then trust God with all the results.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Well, man, I appreciate it. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Built for More podcast, Carson Beck, Miami Hurricanes. Got to get used to saying that. Even I still got to get used to it.
It's a little different.
Go follow at Built for More Pod on all the socials. Leave a 5-star review. If you're not going to leave 5-star, don't leave 1. So we've got 4.9 stars. Some dude just left 1 star.
What?
Didn't leave a comment, just 1 star.
Yeah, he was probably drunk.
We're going to go with that. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Appreciate the support. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.